Welcome to the pros and cons of having type 1 diabetes. I don't know why I decided to do this, but I realized I haven't updated talking about diabetes playlist in, 7 months. Why not do it now? So let's start with the pros, because I want to stay positive. Pro number 1. You have a reason to leave a party early. This one's pretty self-explanatory. If your number's going crazy, sometimes stress can amplify that. And what are they gonna say? No? Pro number 2. It's a good conversation starter. This one is also pretty self-explanatory. It's a pretty easy thing to talk about, especially if you're talking to someone that thinks it's caused by diet. Pro number 3. Update. There's only 2 pros. Alright. Cons. Con number 1. Constant threat of death looming over you. It's kind of f***ing scary. Yeah, I didn't think it would be. When I was diagnosed. It is. Con number 2, constantly tired. I don't know what causes this, but having an autoimmune disease makes you constantly tired. I'm always tired. That's why I upload once a month. Con number 3, constantly feeling sick. Because your number's always going crazy, if you're too low or too high, you can feel pretty nauseous. Sometimes you could have a headache. Not fun. Con number 4. Insulin hurts. I don't know why. Whatever I eat, I'm dreading that part because it stings. I'm not scared of bees anymore because I've probably experienced way worse. Con number 5. I have to put on a new insulin pump every 3 days. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Especially if you've been doing it for 6 months. The reason I have putting a pump on every 3 days here is because it hurts. I mean, sometimes you can't even feel it. Those are the good days. But sometimes you could hit a vein and blood will start going through your pump the wrong way and block your insulin. And you have to start all over. Con number 6. I think it's 6. I may have lost count. Next con. Sometimes my pump leaks insulin just after I've put it on and I need to go through the whole process again to put on a new one. Sometimes your body can just build up scar tissue, and if you put it in the wrong spot, your body's gonna reject it by having it leak through the pump, because the scar tissue is there, and you can't get insulin through scar tissue. Whatever the next one is. I had to spend over 24 hours in the hospital when I was diagnosed. It was not fun, because COVID was at its height when that happened. I could only have one visitor, which meant my brother couldn't come visit me, or my other brother couldn't come, or I have 3 brothers, which meant that my brother, who really wanted to visit me in the hospital, he couldn't. Next con. Putting on a Dexcom hurts. You probably don't know what a Dexcom is. Let me explain it. This bad boy right here is a Dexcom. This thing, there's some remnants of it on my arm because it sticks to you and has a little needle going into you that's constantly in contact with your blood because it needs to know what your blood sugar is. This thing updates my blood sugar every 5 minutes. I don't currently have one on because I just took one off 5 minutes ago. But anyway, the point is, it's supposed to tell you what your blood sugar is every 5 minutes, but sometimes it just doesn't work, and other times, if you put it in the wrong spot, it can literally hit a nerve. It is a gamble every time. Sometimes you don't even feel this thing going in, but sometimes, from the other room, you can hear a click and then just me screaming. It's terrifying. Alright, next one's constantly having to count carbs. A lot of people already do this, and it's not really that big a deal. I just think it's a minor inconvenience that I just kind of wanted to put on here. Next one is that doing too much insulin can kill you in your sleep without you even knowing. This is why it's always a good idea to have a Dexcom on, because you never know when it's too much. See, a Dexcom will tell you if your number is going too low, but if you do too much insulin and don't have a Dexcom on, and you're not good at telling what the symptoms are of going low, you could just straight up die in your sleep, and that's horrifying. Next one. It is a very bad idea to be home alone with T1D. Because if you pass out from going too high or too low, no one's gonna be there to help you. You're just on your own. So it's really never a good idea to be home alone when you have T1D. Next one. I always have to carry a bag of supplies everywhere I go. That is the bag of supplies right over there. I hang it on my door because where else am I gonna keep it? I have to have it on me everywhere I go. Basically 100% of the time. If I go out, that shit is on me. It has a bunch of stuff in it. It has juice boxes in case I'm going low. It has the thing I need to prick my finger, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute. I think it has insulin in there. I should probably check. It's fine, we'll do that later. Alright, next con. Sometimes my insulin pump will get stuck on a doorknob and be ripped out of me. It's not just on me, it's in me. And it hurts, because if I'm just, like, trying to go into my room, and then it decides to get caught on the doorknob, suddenly, A, there's a very sharp pain in my arm, or wherever it is, it's currently on my left arm. A, there's a very sharp pain, and B, suddenly you don't have a pump on, which means you have to put on another one. Seems to be a recurring theme that you need to keep putting on new pumps even though it hurts. Next one, when the pump is in my arm, I can't lift my arm. That's just a I mean, I can because I'm sitting down, but when I'm standing, if you lift your arm, the pump can just hang there and pull it out of your arm. Again. Next one, if my Dexcom isn't working, this thingy, if it isn't working, I have to prick my finger to get blood so I can actually see what my blood sugar is. This isn't really that big of a deal because it doesn't really hurt that much, but when it does hurt, you feel it for like an hour after it happens. Again, the pain sticks. Oh, and also you have to do it like 5 times a day. Only have 10 fingers. Technically, thumbs aren't fingers. I only have 8. Nope, that doesn't sound right. I only have 10 fingers. And if you do it 5 times a day, 2 days, boom, suddenly you can't feel any of your fingers. Next con. I sleep with my pump on, which means if I'm sleeping in the wrong position, it's going to be constantly pulling on me until I wake up. And sometimes I can rip it off in my sleep. I did that once. Woke up, found my pump, and it wasn't attached to me anymore. And I had to put on a new one. Again. Next one. I just always have to carry this around. If I'm wearing something that doesn't have pockets, I literally do that. It's not a joke. Alright, last con. Definitely not actually the last con, but it's the last one I could think of off the top of my head in this little Word document. If my A1C, which is my overall blood sugar over the course of like a month or something, I actually don't remember. If my A1C gets too high, I could go blind. I don't really want to go blind. Oh, and while I have you, there's something that I really need to point out. If you look at this beautiful graphic here on the screen, you'll notice that only 16% of people that watch my channel are subscribed. You already know the things. I don't need to keep saying it. Goodbye.